You're here today because you're invested in your future. You are all the change agents. You are the trendsetters. You've thrived and survived through multiple waves of technology evolution, and you will continue to do so. And today we're going to celebrate that, and we're going to understand how we can continue to work together to really own the future. So as we think about today's theme, Own the Future, what does that mean? What does it mean to really own the future in today's day and age? Well, of course, the most important current macro secular trend is artificial intelligence. Now, to move into this topic, I wanted to start by getting a sense of where you all sit in the room. So I'm going to ask you to put yourself into one of three categories. So category number one, the experts. You know all about it, you could comfortably explain it to anybody, and you've even got a couple of examples that you could bring it to life with. Category number two, you've perhaps read a few articles, had a few conversations, you're beginning to understand it, but there's more road ahead. And then category number three, you're probably very successful and super busy, and you haven't even given it a thought. And by the way, that's fine. So let me see a show of hands for the experts in the room. We do have some experts in the room. Don't worry, I'm not going to put you on point. That's great to see. So category number two, you've read a few articles, you've maybe started on the journey, but there's more road ahead. So hands up in the air. Okay, so obviously a lot more in that category. And then category number three, you're super successful, you're time pressed, and you haven't even given it a thought. Okay, hands up in the air. Okay, so actually that's pretty much what we'd expect from an audience of this size. Most of you have spent some time thinking about it, but you've got more road ahead. And I think that's what you'd expect, as I say. So let's start together to think about, why now? Why now? Why are we having this conversation? Why is it that it's the time to really think this through and understand what this next wave of technology evolution means? Well, there are three key reasons. So the first is, of course, the continuing growth in computing power. You'll be familiar, I'm sure, with Moore's law, this idea that every 18 months, technology and computing power doubles. It's an exponential law. And that means, of course, that it's never been a better time to leverage the power of computing and technology. Secondly, we're seeing significant capital investment from both governments and businesses. And then thirdly, our internet age is creating this incredible ocean of data that allows AI algorithms to extract value and insights. And this is probably one of the best places in the world to have the conversation. I don't know if you're aware, but Toronto is in many senses the point of the spear with regards to the development of AI practices. There's a few reasons for that. So firstly, the incredible University of Toronto is a renowned thought leader in the AI space. And many of the leaders of the AI programs in some of the largest technology companies around the world are out of the University of Toronto. So that thought leadership is really putting Toronto on the map. Secondly, you have government commitment. So Justin Trudeau, for example, recently announced a $230 million fund to invest in a supply chain supercluster. And then recently, we saw the government of Alberta announcing a further $100 million, an inward investment fund, to attract companies from Canada and outside into Alberta in order to really write the next wave of AI tools and best practices. And then thirdly, we're seeing here in Canada a lot of the world's largest leading technology companies, so Samsung and Facebook and Google, really making a commitment to Canada and here in Toronto, developing centers of excellence for technology development, and of course, within that, AI. Now let's think, where is this going to take us? Well, we believe that in the future, AI will be ubiquitous. It will be all-pervasive. And in many senses, it will be the new electricity. Just as electricity changed the world for us and is now a key part of our work and our home life in so many different areas, something that we just take for granted to make things better, we believe that AI will do the same. We're actually going to see AI increasingly pervasive and illuminating and improving all parts of our life across our home and work life, just making things better effortlessly in the background. And what that means is that we are in the middle of something really, really powerful. We're in the middle of a process of AI changing the world. And it's happening now. We're on the journey to the world, benefiting from AI across the board. We're at the beginning of that journey. I've got a favorite writer. Does anyone know William Gibson, the sci-fi writer? Might have a few fans in the room. Yes, we've got a few. Yes, we've got even had a round of applause there, nearly. So one of his quotes that I love is, "The future's here now, it's just not evenly distributed." And that's true of AI. So some of you, for example, this morning, may already have benefited from it unknowingly. If you opened your email client on your mobile and you had a pre-populated snippet of text to choose from in your reply, that's AI. That's the power of AI and predictive algorithms. Autonomous cars, self-driving cars, for example. You know that they're being tested all over North America. They're here now, they're just not evenly distributed. But imagine a world in the future where they're in mass production and they're commonplace. A world in which the average driving commuter gets about 4 hours back every week to focus on higher value-added tasks. And then let's think about the field of medicine. Medicine is a field that is benefiting from AI today and benefiting from one of the key trends in AI, which is the ability to automate high-fidelity, high-quality predictive tasks. So what we're seeing now is that AI can analyze, read, and understand X-rays, CAT scans, and MRIs in a far superior manner to the average medical profession. And what that means is that the clinicians, the radiographers, the doctors, have a new way of working. It's changing the way they work. It's freeing them up from poring over scans and trying to understand what they're seeing to focusing on higher value-added tasks. So, for example, thinking about a treatment outcome and a related plan, or perhaps doing something that computers still can't do, which is offer a bit of tender, loving care, and of course, some human empathy. It's a great example of this key benefit of AI, this notion that AI will actually reduce the cost of high-quality predictions, and at the same time, the related value of our judgment, the value of your judgment, will increase. And for us in the business and financial world, that's even more true. It will automate that high volume of low-value-add repetitive tasks. It'll give you insights into the future, such as cash flow, and free you up to think that through, to have a high-quality discussion, to focus on advisory or applying your commercial expertise and acumen. So put another way, we believe that AI will genuinely unlock human potential. It'll unlock your potential. In fact, as I've said, more so for us in this space, because the business and finance arena is the perfect domain for AI to be applied and to really generate its magic. And the reasons for that are quite simple. It's structured, it's rules-based, and it's data-rich. So how do we play a role in this? I said earlier that we're in partnership. Well, we see our role very simply as building an AI-driven expert platform to better enable you to raise capital, to run your practice, to get paid, or of course, to stay compliant. Now, shortly, I'll be welcoming on stage our product leader, Malika Hope. She's going to really bring this to life and give you some real-world examples of how QuickBooks will apply AI to your benefit. So let me close with a few final comments. I want to finish where I started, which is by celebrating you, the trendsetters and the change agents, and really celebrating your mindset. You're invested in the future, and you will continue to thrive through these waves of technology change. And to remind you all that, as I've said, we're in this together. This is a partnership. We're here to help you win. We have over 8,000 people around the world whose job it is to give you a helping hand, to say nothing of the 500 folks that we have here in Canada who are on your side and helping you win every day. And while we're talking about the team in Canada, I wanted to take the opportunity to celebrate and announce our new country manager for QuickBooks here in Canada. His name's David. He's actually with us at the moment. Stand up, please, David. Big round of applause for David. Awesome. So David's joining us from Google in the new year. David, we're thrilled to have you on board. We can't wait to have you join the team. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Okay, so I'm going to close now. And I'm going to close with a very simple message to remind you that we're here to help you own the future, but more importantly, to help you own your future.